Hello students, today we are going to discuss figures of speech. Let us see why these poets or authors use these figures of speech as a device. Basically, figures of speech is a technique or tool used by the authors or poets as a device to captivate the attention of the readers. It is a departure from the ordinary form of expression to produce a greater effect. The list of figures of speech that we are going to discuss in this video are: number 1, personification; 2, apostrophe; 3, simile; 4, metaphor; 5, tautology; and 6, antithesis. Now coming to the first figures of speech, that is personification, as the term itself, as in the word personification itself, there is a word person. So that means when in a sentence an abstract idea or an inanimate object is given a human quality or spoken of as if having life and intelligence, then that is said to be personification. For example, the moon danced over the water. Here you're getting the image as if the moon is dancing. So you're giving a human quality to moon dancing. The second example discussed is laughter holding both her sides. So here laughter is spoken as if it is a human being. Third, death lays his icy hands on the king. So in this example, death is spoken of as if it is a person and it is laying his hand on the king's throat. So his is used here as if it is some person, it's some male. So that I hope you all have understood these examples and the definition of figures of speech. Now students, let us move on to apostrophe. In apostrophe, an inanimate object or abstract idea or dead or absent are directly addressed. Just as in personification, even in apostrophe, a human quality is given. But here, the difference is that in apostrophe, the figures of speech is indirectly used. That is, directly it is addressed. Example, O liberty, what crimes have been committed in your name? Roll on, thou deep and dark blue oceans roll. So here also you are talking directly. The poet is directly addressing the ocean. Okay. And in the third example, O death, be not proud. This is a very famous and popular example for apostrophe. Here death is directly addressed and poet is directly talking to death and he's telling death not to be proud. I hope you all have understood apostrophe. Let us move on to simile. In simile, two objects are compared which are of two different kinds. Okay. However, they have one point in common. They are usually introduced by words such as like, so, or as. Let us understand simile with the help of some examples. The righteous shall flourish as the palm tree. Okay, here the righteous people and palm tree are compared. Okay, and let's move on to the next example. How far that little candle throws his beams, so shines a good deed in a naughty world. Here the beams or the rays of the candle are compared to the good deeds of a human being. Okay, so here the good deed is the common thing between a candle and a human being. Now the third example discussed is life is as tedious as twice told tale. Okay, here the life is compared to when a person is feeling life very boring. His boring life is compared to that of a tale, that is a story which is told over and over. Some of the common similes used in the day-to-day life are as follows. As proud as a peacock, as tough as a leather, as clear as a crystal, as good as gold, as old as hills, as cool as cucumber. These are the very common similes that we use in our daily walks of life. Let us move on to the next figures of speech, metaphor. Metaphor is an implied simile. Even in metaphor, you observe that two objects are or two ideas are compared, such as words such as like, so and as are not used in this. So that makes the difference between simile and metaphor. Let us try and understand metaphor in a better way with the help of some examples. The camel is the ship of the desert. You're comparing camel with that of a ship, but then you're not saying camel is like a ship of the desert. Here the word like is missing. You're taking it for granted. You're taking it for granted. The camel is the ship of the desert, you're saying. Life is a dream. Here also life is compared to dream. Next is revenge is a kind of wild justice. Fourth example is variety is the spice of life. So these are the examples. I hope you have understood metaphor. Let us move on to the next figures of speech, that is tautology. In tautology, you observe that in one sentence there are two ideas having the same meaning expressed in one same sentence. For example, I need a new hot water heater. Okay, water heater itself is something which heats up the water. But then you are using the word hot and heater in the same sentence. So this is to emphasize the idea, what the speaker wants to say. Okay, to make it more catchy and make more emphasis, tautology is applied. She always over-exaggerates. Exaggerated statement itself is an overstatement, but again you're prefixing it with over. So this shows that to make it more emphatic, the author uses tautology. The third example is in Rome we saw dilapidated ruins, wherein dilapidated and ruins have the same meaning. Now let's move on to the next figures of speech, that is antithesis. In antithesis, you observe that in one sentence, two opposing ideas or two opposing expressions, opposite ideas are expressed in one same sentence. For example, man proposes, God disposes. To err is human, to forgive divine. Speech is silver, silence is golden. So you observe that speech and silence are opposites. Err and forgive are opposites. Human and divine again. So there are two pairs of opposites in second sentence. Now coming to the first example, man and God proposes and disposes. So this is how you observe that two opposing ideas are used in the same sentence. I believe you have understood all the figures of speech that we have discussed in this video. So the remaining ones in the subsequent videos will be learning children. Until then, have a nice day. Goodbye.